Hey guys, so today we're reading The Hunchback of Notre Dame. In the city of Paris, the bells of Notre Dame were ringing in the street below. A gypsy puppeteer named Clopin spoke to the children around his wagon. "Listen, they are beautiful now," he declared, pointing skyward. And high up in the dark bell tower lives the mysterious bell ringer. Hush, and Clopin will tell you a tale of a man and a monster. The story began on a dark night in the shadow of Notre Dame. A boat carrying several gypsies drifted silently down the river. 4 guardians for safe passengers into Paris, the boatmen told the group. But as soon as the gypsies stepped ashore, soldiers arrested them. The fearsome Judge Claude Frollo emerged from the shadows. The judge noticed that the gypsy woman was carrying a bundle. "Stolen good, no doubt," he said. "Take them from her." Frightened, the woman started to run. Frollo chased her through the streets of Paris. The woman ran up the steps of the cathedral, with Frollo galloping after her. He grabbed the bundle. She fell and hit her head. Her eyes fluttered shut, never to open again. From inside the bundle came the sound of crying. "A baby?" muttered Frollo. He drew back the cover and gasped. "A monster!" The archdeacon of the cathedral told Frollo to pay for this woman's death. "You must keep the child and raise it as your own." "Then let him live with you, locked away in the bell tower," Frollo replied. "Someday he might prove useful to me." Frollo named the child Quasimodo, which means half-form. As the boy became a young man, his form remained as mischief as ever, but his strength was beyond of an ordinary man. With his strong arms, he rang the bells until they were much part of his life as the stone gargoyles on the cathedral walls. When Quasimodo was alone, some of the gargoyles spoke to him. "Look!" exclaimed Hugo, peering down into the square. "Today's the Festival of Fools. Are you going to watch, Quasi?" Quasimodo just struggled and went inside. Laverne watched him sadly and said, "What good of watching a party if you never get to go?" The gargoyles followed him into the tower. Quasimodo was gazed at the miniature city he had carved, but it was the closest he had ever come to the outside world. "I'd like to go, but I never fit in out there," he told his friends. Victor said, "You should go. It would be an excellent impression." Just then, Frollo appeared in the doorway, and the gargoyles turned back to stone. "Don't even think about going to the festival," he told his charge. "They'll laugh at you and call you a monster." Quasimodo hugged his head. "Yes, master," he said. "You are my only friend." On the streets below, a handsome newcomer led his horse a leash through the crowds. His name was Phoebus, passing a gypsy dancer. He stopped and stared. She was the most beautiful woman he had ever seen. Esmeralda smiled warmly as she danced with her goat Dejolly. Suddenly, another gypsy sounded a warning before the dancers could flee. 2 soldiers stopped Esmeralda and accused her of stealing. Dejolly quickly butted one of the soldiers as the pair hurried off. Phoebus commands Elise to sit on the other soldiers. Oh, I am sorry, Phoebus said. Naughty horse. One of the soldiers waved his dagger at Phoebus. I'll teach you a lesson, peasant, he raged. Phoebus pulled back his cloak, revealing a captain's uniform. At ease, Lieutenant, he said. And now will you please direct me to the Palace of Justice? Once at the palace, Phoebus was talking to Frollo. Well, Captain, the judge greeted him. You've arrived just in time to help me stamp out the gypsies. We're searching for their hideout, a place they call the Court of Miracles. When we find it, we will crush them like ants. Frollo didn't know it, but Quasimodo had decided to join the Festival of Fools after all. Caught up in the wild cabrin, Quasimodo stumbled and landed at the feet of Esmeralda. Quickly, he pulled his hood over his face. Are you hurt? She asked. Here, let me see. She drew back his hood and said, There, no harm done. By the way, that's a great mask. Later, Esmeralda danced. Quasimodo gazed at her, remembering her kindness. At the revealing stand, Frollo and Phoebus also watched the beautiful dancer. Next time, it was for the big event, choosing the ugliest man and crowning him as the King of Fools. Esmeralda urged Quasimodo to prepare, but soon the crowd realized who he was. It's the bell ringer of Notre Dame, someone called. The culprits urged the people crowd Quasimodo as the new King of Fools. The cheers soon changed to jeers. However, as the people turned against him, Quasimodo saw Frollo and cried, Master, please help me. But Frollo did nothing. He wanted to teach Quasimodo a lesson about disobeying him. Esmeralda could not stand the cruelty. She freed Quasimodo and faced Judge Frollo. You mistreat this poor boy the same way you mistreat my people, she told him. Furious, Frollo cried, Captain Phoebus, arrest her. But Esmeralda got away. She disguised herself and slipped into the cathedral with Djali. Phoebus managed to follow her. Esmeralda phased her pursuer. When she lunged at him, Phoebus said, You fight almost as well as a man. Funny, I was going to say the same thing about you, she replied. Phoebus promised Frollo that he wouldn't promised Esmeralda that he wouldn't arrest her in the cathedral. When Frollo arrived, the captain kept his word. She claimed sanctuary, he said. We can't arrest her in here. Frollo turned to the young gypsy woman. I have soldiers at every door, he said. Set one foot outside, and you'll be arrested. After Frollo and Phoebus had gone, Esmeralda took a moment to pray for all the world's outguests. When she looked up, she saw Quasimodo watching her. She and Djali followed him up to the bell tower. Esmeralda was amazed to see Quasimodo's toy model of the city. Beyond it were bells, which he introduced to her by name, as if they were people. You helped me, Quasimodo told her. Now I will help you. He gathered Esmeralda and Djali out into his arms and swung down the side of the cathedral, out of the soldier's view. Reaching the ground, he said, I'll never forget you, Esmeralda. Then Esmeralda handed him a necklace. She told him if B ever needs sanctuary, it will lead him to the Court of Miracles. When Quasimodo climbed back up, Phoebus was waiting for him. Quasimodo growled, No, sir, soldiers, get out! He chased Phoebus down the stairs, swinging a bundled torch. Phoebus told him, If you see Esmeralda, tell him I didn't mean to trap her here. I was only trying to save her. And tell her she's lucky to have a friend like you. When Frollo learned that Esmeralda had escaped, he was enraged. His soldiers searched the city for her. At one home, Frollo questioned the owners, then ordered Phoebus to burn down their house. Phoebus refused. The judge remained his captain. But you were trained to follow orders. Not orders of a madman, Phoebus replied. Frollo sentenced Phoebus to death on the spot, but someone with a cloak and hood was watching from the back of the crowd. It was Esmeralda. She picked up a stone and flung it at Frollo's horse. The animal retreated in the confusion. Phoebus leaped onto Frollo's horse and galloped away. "Get him!" cried Frollo. The soldiers launched a shower of arrows. One of them hit Phoebus, and he tumbled off the horse and into the river. The soldiers watched as he disappeared into the water. But after they left, Esmeralda dived into the river and rescued Phoebus. He was badly hurt. Disapproved, Esmeralda took Phoebus to the cathedral. "Please hide Phoebus here," she begged. "Quasimodo, promise you won't let anything come to any harm." Quasimodo promised, and Esmeralda hurried away. Quasimodo hid Phoebus under a table just before Judge Frollo arrived. Frollo hissed, "I know you helped that cunning gypsy girl escape. She tricked you, but I know where her hideout is." He lied, "and at dawn I will attack with 1,000 men." He whirled around and stormed off. Phoebus heard everything and planned. He rose to his feet and asked Quasimodo to help him find the Court of Miracles. "I can't disobey my master again," Quasimodo told him. "Aren't you Esmeralda's friend?" the soldier wondered. Then Phoebus struggled off to search for the Court of Miracles on his own. The gargoyles watched as Quasimodo made his decision. He wouldn't help his friend. Quasimodo caught up with Phoebus and showed him the necklace. "It's a map," he said. Together they followed it to a cemetery. They went down a secret passage, soon found themselves surrounded by gypsies in disguise as skeletons. Clopin accused the two of being Frollo's spies. "These men aren't spies, they're our friends," shouted Esmeralda. The gypsies listened as Phoebus warned them about Frollo's planned attack. "I never could have found you without Quasimodo's help," he added. "Nor could I," said the booming voice of Judge Frollo. Without knowing it, Quasimodo and Phoebus had led the judge and his soldiers to the hideout. Frollo accused Esmeralda of being a witch. She would pay for her life. Phoebus and the gypsies were arrested, and Quasimodo was chained up in the bell tower. Soon it was time for Esmeralda's sentence to be carried out. "Your day has come, gypsy," Frollo told Esmeralda as he lit the fire. Suddenly there was an angel's cry from the cathedral. Quasimodo had broken his chains. He swung down from the bell tower and lifted the unconscious Esmeralda in his arms. Fighting off the soldiers, he made his way back to the cathedral, where he cried, "Sanctuary! Sanctuary! Sanctuary!" Furious Frollo ordered an assault on the cathedral. In the confusion, Phoebus escaped. He freed the others and called, "Citizens of Paris! Frollo has declared war on Notre Dame herself. Will we allow it?" "No!" they roared. With the help of Hugo and Victor, Quasimodo heated up a vat of molten lead just as the soldiers were about to butter down the cathedral doors. He poured it to flow out of the drowned spouts of the bell tower. The soldiers scattered. "Come and see, Esmeralda. We beat in the back," cried Quasimodo. But Esmeralda did not move. As Quasimodo kneeled by his friend's side, Frollo appeared in the doorway. Quasimodo saw that Frollo meant to harm him. They struggled, and Quasimodo knocked his attacker to the floor, and knocked Frollo to the floor. There was a soft moan behind him. Esmeralda was alive. Quasimodo scooped up Esmeralda and hurried out onto the roof with Frollo in pursuit. Quasimodo lost his balance, but Esmeralda grabbed her friend's hand just as he fell over the side. Frollo lunged with his sword. The drain spout he was standing on broke off. Frollo fell to his doom. Esmeralda lost her grip on Quasimodo, and he fell too. He fall far, though, because Phoebus, one floor below, reached out and caught him. As dawn arrived, the doors of the cathedral opened. Phoebus and Esmeralda walked into the sunlight hand in hand. Behind them, shy at first, they growing more confident, was Quasimodo. The cheer in the crowd lifted Quasimodo into the air. Soldiers and purred him through the square. Quasimodo, the Hunchback of Notre Dame, knew that he was a prisoner no more. The end. If you like this video, guys, please give a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and click the bells to be notified when I upload videos or post a new book or do more reading. Thanks for watching and have a good day.